we've started and where we are today. And so I'll go through this kind of quick. This guild actually started earlier this year, back in March, and we first started off. There's about 15 members, and if you look now and you look at that roster, you can see that we've grown. We have 169, 95 of which are actual members, 74 olds. Now that is a huge accomplishment if you look back and you think about all the different things that we've had to. Okay.
Hey, Tarek, we're gonna have to mute you, buddy.
Echo, I'm gonna have to mute you.
I'm scared. Sounds like he's gonna cough.
Sorry, Tarek.
I server muted him.
Well, I just singly muted him. So Tarek, when you've got that on, just whisper somebody, we can sort you out. Okay, so talking about where we come from, how many members we've got now. We have endured a lot and we've overcome even more. And I'll come back to that with my wrap up. But I just want to highlight a few things other than our general membership. We have a huge guild working structure, right? And if you haven't met them already, you will soon. We have class leads for every single class. Blades for rogues, Mix for warlocks, Gelf for the mage, Knack for the warlocks, Kanid for the priests, Tristane for the hunters, Alina's for the paladins, Lakota for the druids. God help me if I miss somebody. We have raid leaders now. Aside from myself and Norland, we have 2 up and coming, which I'll talk about in a moment. And we have overcome all content, and we've not just overcome it, we are owning it. Okay, so here's a stat for you. So we've cleared MC in 90 minutes or less. That's pretty damn amazing. Last week was our record clearing BWA at 130 minutes. I remember our first raid night, which was over 180, is 3 to 4 hours. We can nearly clear everything in one night if we pushed ourselves to do that. So it's pretty damn amazing what we've done, and everybody should be super proud of what we've accomplished. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things in there that I might be overlooking, but these are huge. So now I want to move on to the next topic. So that current leadership, right? I'm talking about that, and I went through the names of different class leads, and we are always looking to grow. So one of the things that's on that list is new people taking on new responsibility, and this is something I find absolutely amazing. And even when we first started this guild, so many people stepped up, right? We said we won't do this guild unless we're all in, right? That we all decide to do this, that we all want to participate and have some ownership here. And this guild has grown, right? Our vets like Blade and Mix, Norland stepping up into the raid lead role and more, Knack now being raised up, Alina, Lakota, Tristane, all brand new, Kanid here from the beginning. And there will be more, right? Each and every one of you, if that's what you want to do, if you think you can contribute part of this community, part of the team, all you need to do is put your hand up and say, I'd like to do that, or even just start doing it, because that's how we do it. That's how we become closer, and how we are able to overcome all this stuff. And so I'll dispense with the warm and fuzzy, and I'll get into the meat of the meeting. Next week, right? We are on the verge of new content. I mean, it's out, it's here. People are doing stuff in Silithus and so on. Next week, we are going to see some guild changes. We want to be ready for this, and I know lots of you are already working on your gear and your rep and so on, and you're going to see the guild shift next week. So what does that mean for us? On August 5th, so that's next Wednesday, MC will officially move from Friday to Wednesday nights. MC is no longer going to be one of our core raids. It's now considered to be an open raid for this guild. And what does that mean? MC will become open to anybody in the guild who qualifies to be able to go. So whether it's an alt, a main, or if we decide to bring in pugs, It's open. So it is not going to be DKP. Rather, we'll revert to our old rules, which is main spec over off spec with guild reserved items on special things. And we'll go over that, and that'll get posted. One of the biggest announcements here, other than the date change, the time will remain the same, but we have a new raid leader stepping up in the guild, and so please make sure you thank him for this and you treat him well and show him all the respect he deserves as he's stepping up here. And so that is Sig Boaz. He's going to be our new raid lead for MCs on Wednesday nights.
Hey, Grant.
Grats.
Hey.
Great
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thanks, Sig.
Please don't beat me up.
Grats, man.
If anybody beats him up, you have me to come find you and make sure that that never happens again. So we have your back, buddy, and I just think it's fucking awesome that you're stepping up and doing this, and I'm looking forward to support you myself and becoming to that
Thank
rate.
you. Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna start to institute backups for our raid leads as well, so that there's lots of people who, should they need to take a day off here and there, they do have people like that, and so we'll be announcing those as we go. And I know Mix has put his hand up for a couple of things like that, and he's supported me in the DKP as well on Saturdays. So we'll look to see where Mix ends up and supporting in this this whole thing. So that's the first of the changes. The second change will happen on August 7th, which is on Friday. And normally we do MC. We will not be doing MC, obviously, because it will have moved. We will be moving BWL from Saturday to Friday nights. So going forward, starting next week, August 7th, BWL will be on Friday. This raid will remain DKP as it remains within the core raiding nights. Okay, our DKP is only awarded during our core raid nights, which are Friday and Saturdays. I'm still going to be the raid lead for this, but I am looking for another raid leader who's interested in taking over BWL and stepping up. I have had conversations with one person, but that's not confirmed yet. So if you are interested, reach out to the class leads, let them know you're interested, reach out to me. I'll respond to you the same day on Discord if I'm not in game. So yeah, we can have that chat. So that's the changes that are happening next week, but there's going to be even more. So when the gates of AQ open, we're going to be making even more changes. Now, nobody knows when that's going to be because it's heavily dependent on all the turn-ins and everything else that's happening. But when it does change that week, the first Monday following, the ZG raid will be retired. It will convert to AQ20. Now, when I say retired, it will be retired with exception of potential special enchant runs, but those will be exceptions, not scheduled on a regular evening, right? And so with that, I just want to mention that AQ20, as in ZG, this was not a DKP raid. So we're going to be looking at all the drops that come out of that, and we're going to be making new rules for that. So there will be main spec over off spec, but then there will be guild reserved items and special items that are based off class. But we will come out with that rule list in the next week or two in time for the raid to open up. So with that, I also want to put out there that we also have a new raid lead for that. And to thank him and put him in the spotlight, this is going to be Caldera. So thanks, Cal, for stepping up. AQ20, baby. We're looking forward to some sweet raid lead puns and whatnot.
As if I needed to be in the spotlight more often, huh?
We needed your sweet jokes.
It's always about me.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, so thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, I find it just amazing how much we have grown, right? I mean, now look at us. We got what, 4 raid leaders now. We've got all the class leads going on. It doesn't stop there, right? Going forward, once the doors are open, AQ40 will come on Saturday. So what does that mean? So this week everything is business as usual, but next week things may change, and if the gates are not open in time, we will not have a raid on Saturday. It will be open, so we'll post on what's going to happen with that. Most likely, we'll just take the night off and work on rep and anything else you might want to do. So hold on one second. Yeah. Here we go. Hold on. To do something specific here right now. There it is. Scout there has been.
Oh no, we
congrats.
gotta watch what we say on officers chat now.
Yeah.
You're giving him shit. Congrats, buddy. All right, so I hope everybody heard me there. AQ40, which is now going to be on Saturdays as of next week. If it is not open, we will have just a day off for that. And once again, loot rules will be DKP, and for anything specific in there, we'll be sorting that out in the next week and a half. All right, I'm going to pause. I think there's lots of change there. So before I jump into any kind of wrap up, any questions? Anything my officers want to add? I'll take them now.
I'm just to reiterate on the run here. It actually said, but this is going to be an alt run, so feel free to bring whatever alt that you want.
I'm using the term open.
Yeah.
Because mains are also
Of course.
I'm going to be bringing Augram to that until we can find some other tanks to come out. I'm sure some of our other people will be coming too. So
yeah, and I'll try to come as well, and depending on what we need, I'll bring Knid if we need him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I'm gonna lead it on my road, but of course, if it's all going to be based on raid composition, so I mean, it's going to be what we need for certain. So, yeah.
So we'll have those all posted as soon as we finish up the raids this week. Same as usual. It'll get posted for next week, so no surprises.
So this is easy. I have a question. Okay, so I've been running, MC and BWL since the beginning, since we formed, and I went daggers, but I've never seen the dagger drop, the Corehound Tooth in MC. So even though I run it every week, I think I've only missed 2, period. But if it now goes to an alt raid, my chances to get that dagger, which I need for my main, becomes almost non-existent, I think.
Was there a question?
Well, that kind of is the question. I mean, is that going to happen? I mean, am I going to be rolling now against a bunch of new rogues to get a offhand dagger that I need for progression in AQ and other places?
I think
yes.
you get an AQ.
You will be.
Okay, being honest, that seems kind of pointless to me.
Well, it's an individual thing, Easy, and so don't take this personally, but we all are in that situation. It's not just about you. So
I wait. I've never said anything about it being me. I'm a faithful member. I have been since the beginning. It's just not my fault that the dagger hasn't dropped.
right.
Well,
But I can't have, so let me answer the question more directly. You're not the only one in that position. So I'm not hearing, there is no solution to that.
Okay, I'm not asking for any special favors. I'm just saying I thought the purpose was to get our mains ready for progression in AQ and NAX and so on. So if I don't ever get that dagger, my DPS stays lower than, I mean, even though I'm competitive, I don't have the DPS I could have if I had that dagger.
Understood, Easy. We're all under the same situation, my friend.
yeah, and I mean, AQ is going to bring AQ20 is bring new gear. So, and there is a dagger that doesn't drop, but you get, it's sort of like the same sort of thing that you get from CG, where you have to turn in an item, but there's a dagger that drops from that. That is a extremely good offhand dagger.
Okay, I mean that's fine.
So
I mean
just
it is what it
research
is.
that. And there's also, I mean, it's a 3 set piece kit that I think it's a back, a ring, and the dagger, and
Well,
you have all of it.
Yeah, did you see the
check
one
in-
that
let me jump in,
in
guys.
Guild?
Yeah.
The like Easy brings up a very, very good topic, right? And I might sound insensitive to it. I don't mean to be Easy, and maybe I sound harsh even. That's not it's not meant personally.
I'm a
It's
big boy. I'm a
yeah,
big boy. It's all good.
yeah. So, but it's a concern on everybody's mind, right? We've had people quit because of it, right? We had somebody quit just recently because they didn't get a piece they thought they deserved over somebody else. And so that is not how we are. That is not who we are.
No,
And
I'm not asking it over anybody else. All the other rogues that have been there since the beginning have that dagger. I just don't have that dagger.
no, I get it. I get it. So I'm just trying to explain that there's no loot rule that I can make other than start to be like loot counseling and saying and reserving items. And this guild has never done that, and we will not do that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So I know that some people may be upset about things like that, but others might be extremely grateful. And unfortunately, it's there's I can't even count how many instances of that sort of issue appear.
I have an alt I would love to get geared as well. I have a mage, so I mean that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So, but it's clear. So we treat everyone the same. So thank you for that, Easy. I mean, it's not pardon me, it's not an easy topic, but it is an important one to make sure everybody is understand that everybody's treated exactly the same. So it does suck, but we're trying to, very much move into the new content, into the new loot, and I'm hoping that I hope it does drop for you. I really do, or some other way. Just like I'd probably never get the bindings, or Baz would never get them if he comes back. But despite the fact that we all worked so hard, this is a great example of something that's just never happening.
If Tig's never going to get a shield, you know how it works.
There are so many examples. So thank you for bringing that up, Easy.
Well,
No
I just want
worries.
to throw my 2 cents in there. You really shouldn't look at the MC anymore as a gearing up. It really should be more for the new members and alts to gear up. If you're part of the main raid team, which you are, Easy, you have better weapons to get an AQ than you will get an MC. Just look at it that way. I understand, for now it doesn't look, as appealing, but you're already geared. You're part of the team, so you'll be one of the first to be in AQ. Whereas
Yeah, it's never been to me about gear per se. It's about contribution to the team. That's all. Period.
Yeah, and for me, it feels like that's just part of the nature of phasing new content in and old content out. Where if we're going to go ahead and prioritize the newer content, the older content has to drop off in some respect. We're going to have to prioritize it differently, and some things are going to suffer because of it. Some of the mains are just not going to be able to get the priority on some of the loot from that old content, and they're going to have priority with new content. And that's the way I look at it, anyway.
I mean, I look at the priests. How many priests or healers in our guild have a cauterizing band from MC? Not very many.
Maybe
Nope.
3.
Dude,
Oh, got it.
I feel your pain, Easy. I mean, I'm the same.
I don't
put
have
on
it.
my arm right now to get a healing base. So it's and with ZG being cut out, that's one of the best healing maces in the game. I'm not going to have access to. So
can I still make a suggestion?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
This guild was formed because alts were given exactly the same chance to get gear as mains, and mains were getting screwed over left and right. During a short transition period, in order to accommodate concerns like Easy's brought up, which I think are fairly valid, you might consider a mains before alt rule. That means every new player, if they're on their main, has the same right to loot. And that might be a solution. Just offering it as a suggestion, not campaigning it one way or the other.
Assuming it's an all guild run, though, I mean, we can work something out.
What does that go for, do you think, Kat?
One more time. How long does it go for?
Yeah.
No more than a month.
What about the people who still don't get the item after a month?
Well, then they are deep enough within the newer content that they should be hopefully getting drops from the newer content. It's just, to me, we're forgetting about our roots, where we came from, and really we are a main before all guild. That's my impression anyway.
Well,
Yeah, I
also
think
on
we
top of
are.
that, on top of that, you're going to send, if you don't have any of the old guard going, like the guys that are 60 and already geared, it's going to be difficult to clear MC on a Wednesday night with all alts just because of their gear in the beginning. I mean, I know some of your alts are geared okay, but like Og was saying with his tank, he's got to take his tank. So, if I'm just saying, if everybody that has a geared 60 doesn't want to go there because they feel like they don't have a chance of getting the gear they've been waiting for 6 months, it might make it tough for everybody else to clear it.
I want to clarify, I'm not making an argument. I'm just offering a suggestion for thought for
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
thoughts.
No,
People
it's
want to
valid.
encourage people.
And I'm just bringing up another
Mm.
point of view, another angle on it.
Yeah, I think we want to encourage people that are alts that if there's a main that really needs something, to think about that main. Just preface the raid by saying, yeah, the main is there, and we'd like them to be prioritized. But I don't think there's anything that requires them. Like if there's somebody from another guild that wants to come in, we want to give them the same priority in that
Well,
instance.
if they're effectively on their main, then that's fine. I mean, there are ways to make this work, and I'm just going to leave it on the floor for you guys to think about it at a later junction. I don't want to try and discuss it or do it right now. I just want to put it out as food for thought for later.
My only thought on that, guys, honestly, is I would prefer to bring my mage because my mage needs to be geared. The only reason I would bring easy would be specifically for that dagger. I mean, I'm 6 of 8 Blood Fang. I don't need anything else out of MC. So the only reason I would be running that raid would be for the dagger specifically. But my DPS would support the ults in being able to clear MC. That's my only point.
Which boss drops that dagger you want, Ragnarok?
Major Domo.
Guys, floor this issue for me, so don't feel bad for bringing it up. I don't want to agree to divide.
Let's keep moving on, guys. Any other questions?
Nope, not from me, but thank you for listening.
No problem, brother. Others out there who are listening, other questions? We encourage this kind of debate. It's good. It's open questions are good. It gives us all food for thought. Look, class leaders are always listening and open to get feedback for each and every one of their members. I love hearing it myself. Can't always be easy, but that's the strength of our guild, right? Is because we can deal with this stuff. So you can write it in guild chat if you can't talk, or whisper me. I am online, or any of your class leads. So we'll just give it a minute or two here. Okay. Not a minute, but if you do have something, I'm going to I'll go through my wrap up, which is
Question: have we ever thought about doing binding runs in MC and just focusing guard and Baron, and then deucing out?
Love to do that. I'm like easy, or even worse. I mean, for 2 months I've needed nothing in there. So, other than that,
It's just another idea. If we are struggling on too much content that we need to get done and not enough time, we could just make focused runs for certain things and save time.
Well, we kind of already did. I've done that with ZG with just the
So we
idle
can
and
get
mount
gear
run.
from the new stuff that's coming out.
yeah, it's a great topic. We'll probably talk about it in our next. I'm taking notes for all this stuff, so we'll obviously end up chatting about it in our next officer meeting too. So that's a good one to discuss. Cool. Have you seen those kinds of runs actually, Boom?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in other guilds I've seen them doing it, and I thought it was really interesting. And yeah, I mean, they did 20-man. I watched this guild the other night do 20-man Gar Baron runs, and they split into 2 raid groups. But I don't know if
But you know, if you have
Right
the
composition.
if you have the right composition, you'll be okay. All right, food for thought, man. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'll talk about that, Cal. All right, so Cal just brought up a good note for me to touch on. So, and I actually have it in my list around. We have a guild bank. So something that we've been doing for a while now for the top tier raid is to try and provide consumables to the classes that you know let's say for sort of like as a priority support our ability to progress faster. So that guild bank has been used for all kinds of things, and for those for that reason, enchants, building gear for certain people, for certain classes, consumables and whatnot. So we have a very strong uh, document. If you haven't already read it, which hopefully you have, two of them. One that's sort of the beginner raid introduction guide, and then the other one was for BWL specifically. And so we'll be revamping that for EQ40 at some point here. But generally speaking, what's set down in there, the rules, not rules, but what we ask for is that people come to the raid prepared. AQ40 is not going to be a face roll. We all thought BWL was going to be, and it was not, right? It took us some time to get through that content and to get to where we are today. So again, it's the same thing with AQ20 and AQ40. It's going to be completely different. Those of you that were around the first time through, you'll know. But there's so much more in our ability and our understanding of the game that we always think that it's that much easier, but it's not. So it's important that you guys come to the higher end raids prepared. And I don't have to say that to the people who have been coming to BWL. Y'all know that already. But any of you that are fresh, right? Bring your consumables. Performance is everything. We've never been a guild where we look at you and we don't take you. If you're, let's just say, not performing well, but we will work with you, right? Your class lead's there for that. We're all there for that. So we'll all try and help you get better at what you're doing, whether it's spec or rotation or consumables or understanding the fight. All those things are taken care of as part of what we do. So I don't know. Did I touch on what you're trying to say, Cal? What you were reminding me of?
Do yourself a favor and become prepared, basically.
Be prepared, Boy Scout. All right. Good comment.
Speaking of being prepared, once we get to AQ40, guys, we're not going to face roll it.
That we will not be face rolling AQ40. And if you want a preview of AQ40 and you don't have retail, you just let me know. I will get on my retail character and I will show you what that instance looks like. And it is not. We will not be clearing that in a month. That's not going to be happening. But anyway, we'll all have our opinions. Warriors, check the Warrior channel. Yes. Yeah, that's another good comment. So each of your class leads and other people who are vets have been posting all kinds of videos and or documents and or references in your class channels. So I encourage you strongly. I've been looking at them every day. I see new posts on that stuff. So get involved with your class leads. Start working on that stuff that's in there, reading on it. When you get to AQ20 and AQ40, if you've watched videos from the past or read documents, that stuff's going to serve you extremely well going in, right? And you'll be able to support your raid leaders and everybody else who's in there. So, yeah. All right. Nature resists, baby. It's the new fire resist.
Yeah. What are the requirements for nature resist moving forward? I guess is a question, because there's a lot of different.
That's all going. That's all going to get posted in our raid guides.
Yeah, I mean, I've read it, and then also watched other videos that say differently as well. So my understanding of it is that it really tanks melee and hunters really need to have nature resist. Everyone else needs to basically just avoid damage.
Wow.
So
I mean, I don't want to take. It's a great question. I would like to table it for the most part for raid discussions, right?
Okay.
So when these come out, we should have documents that show here's what we're looking for as a baseline. So please go and work on those things. We have always tried to help the guild get to that point, get to those things, and then really it's a balance. As just like progression in every one of our raids, right? I'll use the example of MC. It's I have personally tanked that place other than Rag in 0 fire gear. And some of my healers probably was wondering why I was taking more damage, but the better you get at avoidance and all the other things, it's entirely possible, and it's really heavily dependent on how well are your tanks putting people in place, or DPS managing their, where they're standing, and whether it's in crap or not crap, and healers and how powerful they are. So it's a constant balance. So that is always shifting. The more gear we get, the more experience we get. So that's why I'm going to say I want to put it in the document, and I want to put a baseline out there for each class. And I'm going to ask each class leader to stipulate what that is going to be. And as the AQ40 raid lead, I will put out there, here's my expectation of baseline. And then you guys can, and it'll be a draft, and you can help me with that. And then we'll post it.
Sounds good.
There you go. LLJ, sandbaggers. Thalia, it's a great question, and so I'll answer that question about raid comp. I have the ideal raid comp, always had it, even before we went into BWL and what I wanted it to be, and I had it posted, and we had never achieved it. So raid comp is something that we all strive for, but we have to be able to make compromises. And if we wanted to go for the best of the best, we'd have 3/4 of the raid all being warriors. So we're just not going to do that. Raid comp's going to be based on balance.
Wait, what did you just say?
It was a joke, but if you want to take exception to it, go ahead.
I certainly do.
All right.
Watch
okay, go on.
Yeah, you show me a raid where 3/4 of the rogues can actually do it.
I don't know. Go look at the chart and see who we had top DPS.
And I'll show you one that's done with 3/4 of warriors. Anyway, it was a joke. But anyway, I'm saying to make a point, we've always strived for raid balance and comp. So there is no being tighter on it, because our first priority is to serve and do these raids as guildies, right? I'm not going to ditch guildies, who are gear qualified, in favor of, oh my God, you don't fit the comp, you're out, and find a pug. I will do that if they're not ready to go and they're not prepared to go and they don't have the gear to go, but that's the only reason. So hopefully that answers your question, Thiele. We try, and that's part of our recruitment, with priority on who's who and what we're looking for. All right. Other items, guys? Give it another minute. All right, cool.
I'd like to discuss my mouse.
Your mouse?
His famous mouse.
All right, I'm going to get into my wrap up then. I'm sure I'll get interrupted halfway through that, but here we go. So again, I just want to reiterate, the strength is this guild has always been about the community, guys. Always been about the community, the selflessness of all the people who are stepping up and supporting the others in this. We have seen time and time again people bug out because they didn't get a piece of loot or rage or drama or whatever. I say good luck to those people, and I feel sorry for them because they're only going to run into the same issues over and over again. Everybody here who has weathered this storm, has gone through all of this, knows what we've been through, and we're stronger for it, and we continuously get stronger. You've all seen guilds fall apart in the last two months over all kinds of different things. This is not happening with this guild. We have contingencies for almost everything, backup leadership for almost everything. You all would have noticed that I have taken more time off for myself and I'm not around as much. That we have, if I haven't put this out there, I'm not even sure I have, but I'm going to put somebody else in the spotlight for a moment here. Norland is my second. He's the guy that if you can't get me, you go to him. And I trust him. All of us do. He's been at the core of this guild from the beginning, whether in an official capacity or not. And so again, I'm putting you up there. Thank you so much for accepting the role and helping me and the rest of the officers. This cannot be done without, as it takes a village. It can't be done without everybody putting this together and going forward. So yeah, so there's that. So again, special thank you, Norland, for having my back for that, and the other officers, of course, stepping up.
Hey, dude, you're awesome.
Yes, it's given me lots of peace of mind, and yeah, all of you actually have given me time to be able to breathe. Have some deal with some life issues, and those things just never go away. We all have them, right? And
ain't that the truth?
We don't have to leave, right? You could just take a break and you can lean on your friends. So that's what I think is so amazing about this guild. So I'll leave it with that. This is not an ordinary guild.
The family will always be here.
This is fucking Deadpool. Maximum effort, people.
La Cosa Nostra.
Yeah.
Whatever anybody needs, we're here to facilitate. Yeah. I'm not giving away free gold.
This thing of ours, La Cosa Nostra.
All right. So with that, I will call the meeting adjourned. Thank you all for attending, and pass the word on. I will post all of this in guild information, so y'all have it. I'm sorry I couldn't get a.
Crybaby actually said she recorded it and she's going to be putting it up on YouTube.
Yep.
Oh, great. All right, I'm not saying anything more.
That's one way to get the word out.
He's like, okay, bye.
Awesome. All right, back to our regularly scheduled.
Who wants to go run Strat?
Who wants to go run solo?
Or Skolo?
I said I would.
As a paladin, I need that.
Well,